everyone, Jordan here again with another Google Apps scripting video. Today I'm going to be making a short video demonstrating the auto-completing feature when you write a custom function with AppScript. This isn't technically a teacher-based one, but I needed a way to convert currencies. I've just moved to China. And I'm getting used to a whole new currency system. Spreadsheets are great for budgeting and tracking finances, so I thought I would write my own function that I would then be able to use the auto-completing features. It's a good way to show this. When you use the built-in functions like sum, we can get a whole list of, values, a summary of what the function does, and an example. We want to be able to create that for our custom functions. So let's start doing that. I'm going to open up my script editor here, and that takes a second. And let's just go ahead and save the project. I'm going to just call it auto-completing custom, can't type, custom function example. And right off the bat, while it's saving, okay, taking a few moments. There we go. I'm going to start a new function here, and just to be in the same style that the built-in functions are, I'm going to capital letters, and I'm just going to say currency exchange. It's a little bit long, but it's clear and concise on what it does. So we can look at this function and know exactly what it does. It's a currency exchange. Now I'm going to take in three parameters: the amount, the currency we're coming from, and the currency into. Now I'm going to make these two parameters optional, and I'll show you how to do that here in a second. Well, we can go ahead and do it right off the bat. I'm going to, in the from, I'm going to save it to from, or I'm going to save it into CNY. CNY is the Chinese currency. And into, I'm going to save it as into or USD. So basically what this is doing is, if there is a from, I'm going to save it to itself. But if there isn't, then I'm going to save it as CNY. And the same thing for the US dollar, the into. All right, so that's how we can make those optional. Okay, 1.53. So 10 CNY is equal to 1.53 USD. Perfect. We got a working function. Now to make that work, and actually we can see that here, equals currency exchange, and we'll pass in the 10 here, and that should give us 1.53, the exact same thing out here. But we don't see anything. As we type this, we don't see anything. Google provides all kinds of little help, for other functions, but we want to add our function there. So let's go ahead and do that. We need to put some documentation outside of the function before we get started here. And we want to, there we go. So it's going to have a little documentation block that looks something like this. And the very first thing we want to do is give it a summary. And we're going to say get the current exchange rates of chosen currencies. Now, in the skip a line, and we're going to add a parameter. And inside of curly braces, we can put an example of what we're going to pass in here. You could also just say number or string, depending on the variable type. But what I like to do is just actually put an example, because this shows up as one of the examples. And then we need to say the name of the variable that we're using as an example, and then we can say what it does, the amount of currency to exchange. Now we're going to have two more parameters, but these are optional parameters. Now, I couldn't figure out a clear way of doing this, so you have to actually you got to be a little tricky, because it's not like the built-in functions, like, let's say, average. And it shows you here in these braces that you can have all these optional values. And it actually says down here, value 2, optional, repeatable. Gives you some little triggers here. I couldn't figure out how to do that, so I came up with a little workaround for it. And I'm going to just type in here CNY, and we're going to call that from, and this is, I'm going to put in big letters here, optional, the currency type to be converted. And whoops, I've already got this typed out here. And then in this block, I'm going to type in USD, close brackets, and this variable is into. This is also optional, and the currency I misspelled this one here. Currency type to convert into. And now we got to add another line for the return, and that's going to be the not converted. I'm going to use exchanged amount. I should have used exchange there. I think that is more of the actual lingo, though I am not sure. Now I'm going to add one final thing. This is the magic that makes it all happen here. At custom function. This has to be the last little thing that you add into this block, so that Google knows that you want this is a custom function, and you want to turn all of this into the autocomplete. So let's see if we can find that here now. Equals currency exchange, and there it pops up here. Currency exchange shows our example with some examples filled in here. The amount, then it tells me the amount of currency to exchange. The from, optional, and into, optional. And we've got ourselves a custom function that should work if we don't provide the optional parameters. It should work here. What's going on here? Error loading data. There we go. $3. 20 RMB is $3. What if we wanted to change currency exchange? Look at that autocomplete there. Perfect. We want to change, let's say 20, and we want to change GBP, British Pounds, GBP. I think that's what it stands for. And we want to change that into USD. Now, because USD is the default value, I actually don't need to type that in. So I'm going to just say 20 pounds. Currency exchange that. Hey, $26. Awesome. What if we want to do, well, I think you get the idea. Play around with this function. Play around with the documentation. Let me know what you think. If you know a way to display optional variables better, please share in the comments below. Look me up on Twitter. And as always, I love to start the conversation about how we can use AppScript to, improve education. Cheers. Have a great day.